Okay, what's good, guys? It's Achilles, man. I'm a little bit basically jet lag from all the stuff that I got back to like my house, or my residence, rather. I would like to say back here at like 6 this morning, and I went to sleep till like 2, and I don't feel like that's any fraction or portion any of the way better. So I'm not gonna be before you guys long, technically, but maybe I will. I really don't have anything to do. I go back to work like Friday, Saturday, and thinking about my job. I'm probably uh, I'm probably going to be working Friday, Saturday. My job called me. I already put in my vacation time, but a lot of people. I've heard a few more people left from my job and whatnot. The pay didn't have anybody doing the cart, so customers. See, I do a great job at my job. They calling me while I'm on vacation. And that's not me bragging. That's not me bragging. That's a fact. But also goes for me, my point, my case on point for a lot of stuff I say, please do not underestimate anybody, like for real. Like anybody. I don't care who it is. Like, to me, I have no point to prove to anybody. I mean, that's the thing about me. So, like for instance, I invested in crypto and stuff like that. I'm halfway on my way, man. I legitimately feel like I'm halfway on my way. Not being that legit serious though. Um, my thing with LA, I'll give y'all a rundown about LA. LA is very expensive, and how expensive? It's a lot. Um, for a weekend or a particular thing, you're probably looking at a few grand, just because of the way LA is. LA is it takes on a life of its own, and that's not any exaggeration what I'm saying. LA legitimately takes a life of its own, and what I mean by that is strictly the traffic's bad, the businesses and the restaurants and stuff like that. And I wore my mask and stuff like that. Flights and stuff like that. Oh my god, I'll never get on another airline again for a while. And if I do, I'm probably going to fly first class or something where it's going to be a little bit more comfortable. I don't fly on, Jet or Spirit or any of these bootleg air carriers or whatnot. The JetBlue is respectable, but I rate JetBlue like maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars, or basically 3. It's not bad. A 3 for me is actually pretty neutral. 2.5 can be somewhat bad, but there's some aspects it can work on. If you get a 2, you're terrible. I'm a pretty tough critic on a lot of stuff. I don't know if people know that, but yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying and stuff like that with LA is that the service industry and the way LA works is kinda in itself a life of its own. Like how businesses are operating. Transportation. Gas in LA is $5 a gallon. $5 a gallon. The traffic is very bad. What else about LA is bad? I say everything about LA to a certain extent. The homeless people are wilding out, and men and women are like, you're not exempt from sexual harassment. You're really not. You got that's not the craziest thing I've seen out in LA. Well, I was going on this tour or this little guide thing and stuff like that. Kind of see the sport city, and this, that, and the third, right? And the funny thing about it is that when you're out there, this, that, and the third, anything can happen in LA. You can be at the wrong place at the wrong time. I almost was at that technically. just because I'm not making a story up. Cause I was supposed to go on this like little thing like this, how people basically ride around in a bus. You basically get in a bus and show you some, basically some kind of sightseeing and a little bit of stuff. They take you around Hollywood, you know. You see this, that, and the third. So, there was a man, I guess he was playing around with a toy gun, and the police shot him dead. And I was like, maybe like a few minutes away from the thing, then the cops blocked off the street, and I was outside of a Chick-fil-A. I was with a group. If you go to LA, please travel with a group. That's one thing that you need to do, and be very careful where you're going. And then be careful, have your eyes out on a swivel about the homeless people, and there's people in general, because the hell? I don't know what the hell this is, so I'm not gonna pretend like I know what the fuck is going on. So, excuse my French, but yeah, LA, you need to travel with a group. That's word to the wise. Even if like you're a man, I feel like it's better to travel in a group. And I'm not trying to exaggerate that. I mean, that's smarter. A lot of places require you to, well, at least in my opinion, to be smart. If you're a woman, you don't need to have a girl strip out there. Yeah, a lot of stuff is my opinion, but it's just smarter to be in LA with a group rather than by yourself, because you don't know what can happen. Homeless people. The worst thing I saw was a homeless man with his pants down on his ground. He looked like he was squatting over to take a literal shit on the actual stuff. He had his pants all the way down to the ground, everything basically hanging out. I was like, and with a joint in his hand. I mean, mental illness and stuff like that is definitely a serious issue. And sometimes I feel sorry for homeless people, but at the same time, it's the behavior. It's the behavior and stuff like that. It's the behavior. So, yeah. I have no reason to be untruthful about what I done saw. So, Hollywood is an interesting place. I wouldn't suggest anybody, like, that's not necessarily, Hollywood is kind of up there with Vegas in terms of what you're going to see. Not necessarily a place really friendly for kids, in my opinion. You got women, half dressed, all sorts of type of stuff, freak shows type of stuff happening. It's ridiculous. And there's just too much going on in LA. Men and women are both being sexually harassed and stuff like that. Nobody's exempt from sexual harassment in LA. I would like y'all to know that. Too, there's a lot of what you call it stuff going on in terms of they had a protest about the LGBTQ community that's out there. Someone got shot by a rubber bullet. You can search that up. I was in downtown LA, but I was in my hotel room when that happened. And then the hotel or the place I was staying at, they had nurses and stuff going on strike. So it was just a lot. And they weren't in the lobby with it. They was doing this and the third. So it was a lot. Now I don't try to make up stuff and stuff like that. I don't do that. So in terms of the stuff that was going on in LA, the food and stuff and the service, the customer service at restaurants is bad. Like if you go to a restaurant, don't expect to spend anything less than like I would say with all the fees and stuff. And LA is like ahead of how they do stuff. I think the South has better customer service and better food. That's just my opinion. And the only place I consider on the West Coast that has good food and probably good customer service because it's still the South is Texas, Houston. Houston, exactly. Because I feel like all the stuff you're going to bypass a lot of the bull. LA is just a different beast. And yeah, they did a lot of advertisement for LeBron in downtown LA. I got some photos. I don't know if I want to compile all my stuff and make it to like a thing so y'all could watch. I got some video clips. I recorded a little bit of stuff, but nothing too crazy. I could take this guy out if I want to. I knew he was terrible. But what's some other things about LA that I did not like? I'll say it's definitely some of the people out there. In terms, obviously, as you know, LA is the birthplace of gangs and stuff like that. You need to mind your business, honestly. We out in LA, don't wear certain hats, don't, be out there in the wrong place. Like, you can find out that, like, a lot of businesses, you can find it's not a popular place for locals. And if you think about it, you need to understand, like, what some of these people's dealings are in terms of, like, this. Because you can go to a area where, that's what some people just said. You need to be careful about, exactly what type of area and stuff, getting food. Like, you're in an area, please go at daytime. And even at daytime, the person who got shot in Hollywood Boulevard and got killed by police, that was in broad daylight. So, I was supposed to be on the, the excursion thing, on the bus. And, that got canceled. And I was just sitting at Chick-fil-A, with my group of party and people, stuff like that. We were just chilling. Well, my sister and two of her friends, stuff like that. I felt like we had a decent time. We had a whole lot of mishaps. Because in LAX is the worst airport. I had to tell y'all that. And do I really believe that's a true statement? Yes, I believe LAX has the worst airport. And the thing about Ubers and stuff like that, Ubers you're going to spend on transportation alone in a day, depending on the party. I suggest you go to the party. You're probably going to spend about $300 a day on average in terms of transportation. Well, I can suggest you a few cheaper food options. I mean, I didn't really eat that. I mean, I was on vacation, this, that, and the third, and I ate some good stuff. Um, got tacos, this, that, and the third. You know, that this thing where it was like, what you call like 2 drinks or whatever, happy hour. I got that, and man, boy, I was gone. But you know, that was the first time being drunk, really. So you know, I'll never do that again. um. And it's not like the person, whatever drinks they had, I only drank like maybe like 4 fluid ounces of what, and I was already like gone. But I wasn't doing any like sloppy drunk. I was just funny. My part was like, I'm an old man. I'm never doing this again. But they had like this 32 or 30, I think it's 36-ounce drink where you can get a whole alcoholic thing for like 36. Oh, there's a person right there. We're not gonna go over there. But yeah, stuff was $36. Well, not $36. It's like $20, but you get 36-ounce margarita. It's called Cabo Cantina. And I think the food was pretty good. They got one in Hollywood and they have one in Santa Monica. I think the one in Santa Monica is kind of a little bit more chill, but you have to be 21 and up. A lot of stuff in LA is 21 and up. So I think it's a kind of like a Vegas thing. You know, I think, you know, LA, I'm glad to be back. LA is strictly about money. And, you know, $600 where I live with North Carolina, that can get you a lot further than $600 in California. So I kind of like living where I would never live or try to have a family or raise a family in Los Angeles or an area like that. That's just not me, not my style of living, not my style of pace. Even if I had millions of dollars and stuff like that, I don't want to live. There's no privacy. There's no privacy. The traffic's bad. You know, like I said, you got gangs. You know, you got businesses and stuff that are not businesses at all. They're not selling chicken in there, or you see the caliber of people that are coming out of the restaurant, and they got tattoos and caps and stuff like that. You know, I'm on my business again. I'm not going to go back and forth with nobody. You can call me this, that, and the third. It was nothing like that. I never had any issues with any of the people out there. I was just minding my business. And again, that's the way I am. I'm not going to go back and forth with you on anything, really, for that matter. I don't even talk like that, to be completely honest. I don't think there's nothing weird with that. I just think, you know, in certain situations, you definitely need to be smart about what you're saying and what you're basically outputting. Because, in my honest opinion, you know, there's a lot of stuff. I'm still thinking about, one of the excursion guy, he was, he was talking about how these celebrities go to this restaurant. He went out to the restaurant being as like an average Joe. Well, now he's not no millionaire, nothing like that. But he said, you know, go to this restaurant. It was like, you know, $500. This place called Boa. See, I was too focused on the talk. I heard footsteps, and then it is what it is. Yeah, it was this place called Boa. I think it was kind of in LA, but it was kind of on the outskirts. And it's like a steakhouse. You know, I forgot exactly what street it's on. But I went to the place where they did the GTA, the little windy place, and then I went to the observatory. I did that. But I went to the place where they based Franklin's house at, the actual real place, all the way up to the hills. I saw Tony Stark house where Marvel, they do the shooting. They were doing a lot of shooting while I was in actual films, not actual shooting. You know, I wasn't in no areas like that because, you know, I don't play that. I want to live and see another day, get on with my family. You feel me? It's all about that. But some things I really think about in terms of, you know, LA. I'm gonna think about LAX. Let me focus on LAX more importantly. LAX, and whenever you go there, you're more than likely you're going to have to, you're going to definitely have to figure stuff out, like your terminal, your gate, and stuff like that, because they have like a little shuttle. They take you to the stuff. You can't just walk outside the airport like New York and get a taxi or Uber and stuff like that. They have a designated space. You have to get on a shuttle and they basically take you to this place. And then the stuff is broken up by category. So if you have an Uber line, but you won't have to walk, and then Ubers and stuff, whatever, for security reasons, they're not allowed. You have to basically meet them within, like, you got to go a block. They'll take you as far as they can go, like the bus, the official shuttle. You got to go down a block and then go down, like, you have to walk right or left, and it depends. They'll have an Uber, Lyft, this, that, and the third, or the taxi. But to get to, like, from an average thing, from basically LAX or your hotel destination, if you're staying in downtown LA, it can be $60 to $107, depending on the surges and stuff like that, or convenience. This, that, and the third. LA is crazy. And again, I feel like the best part of my trip was probably Harold's Fried Chicken. I'll tell y'all that. Harold's Fried Chicken was pretty good. I enjoyed it. You know, I was doing a lot of walking, by the way. LA is a very active place. But, you know, the Chick-fil-A's out in LA are open pretty much all night, except Sunday. They work and operate the same, because they're 3 hours behind. And to get to LA from where I live at, it's like 5 hours. It's 5 hours. And then the scary thing about, you know, my whole probably trip, I'm not really afraid of heights. I can tell y'all that. I'm not really afraid of heights. But the thing about that I didn't understand about both my trips, in a sense, is the pilots, what they were doing. It's what the pilots were doing, because we were supposed to be in LA at a certain time frame. And then again, you had to have radio, all the air traffic control people. We were waiting on the guy was talking, and we had to basically wait for a storm to basically brew over and fly above the stuff or whatnot, rain, this, that, and the third. And then when I came back this morning, right, this, that, and the third, we had a lot of turbulence, by the way. But when we got back to the airport, we was my airport basically did not expect us to be on time because of all the adverse conditions and stuff like that. So we were basically circling in the sky, the airport, and waiting for land. And then when we landed, the people, the air traffic control, and whoever was at the gate, like, you know, the little port, the little, what's it called? The little silo container where they have you walk at to get out the plane. They basically had us out there waiting, and they had to basically get the gate open and have the door and stuff like that. All the people were not on the same page. So I think that was kind of crazy in itself. So we was like circling around for like 6 minutes or so in the air. Then we did our land. And then our land, it wasn't necessarily a smooth land, but I'm glad we were safely there. But I could feel the pilot and stuff like that basically pull back on the thing. And we didn't like skirt off the runway, but we were bouncing up and down, and then, you know, he basically run. It was not necessarily a smooth landing. It was smooth, but it was kind of abrupt and it was just a lot. And then on top of that, we had to wait. The thing I hate about airplanes, in a way, and now traveling in the pandemic, I'm fully vaccinated, so I feel like I got a better layer of protection. I'd say California, Los Angeles County's vaccination rate is like 60%. I would not necessarily disagree with that, but at the same time, you just got to be careful about, once again, who you're interacting with, this, that, and the third. Homeless people, There's a lot of mental illness going on in LA for the homeless population, because, you know, you just look at it. People are doing drugs, people got substance abuse issues, this, that, and the third. And That's sad in itself when you got people out here doing drugs. Even weed, I don't support people, using weed. That's just my opinion. And if someone wants to know about that, I just don't believe in weed. No, I'm not going to talk outside of my ass and stuff like that, but there's people who can have like a psychotic break just for smoking weed. That's why I don't, I think marijuana has some properties, some good properties, but in actuality, they can break it down on a compound, take the good from the bad, because you don't know what people put in this weed, man. I was going to go to the place by Insecure where they shot the hotel, not the hotel, but the apartment complex. It's not nice, what I heard. We didn't have time to, and then, there's a lot of places that just live on hype again. In terms of like food, like Roscoe's. I had like two people in my party basically go and try Roscoe's, and Roscoe's was bad. When I got out the airport, we made it all the way to Roscoe's, and it was like 30 minutes away from before close, and they were closed. I don't have a problem with a place being closed like that, in a sense, because they're trying to reduce the cost and stuff like that, but, yeah. I wasn't even really, if we're being completely honest, I didn't even want to even go to Roscoe's. So I'm not going to even lie to you about that. I wasn't even trying to go to Roscoe's. Because my whole point of LA is not even go to Roscoe's, especially at the time of night and the location I was at. There was nothing bad, but then again, I feel like I'm very street smart, surprisingly. People may disagree with that, but again, I know what time it is. I know how to read rooms, and my head is constantly on the swivel. Believe it or not, my head is on a swivel. And some stuff you're not going to talk your way out of. It's just as simple as that, That's why I don't glorify crime and stuff like that. You're not going to talk your way out of situations. You get yourself in and out of a place, this, that, and the third, and not even be in a situation around, something where, it can go terribly wrong at any click of a second. Because to me, again, there can be a lot of places where, like I went to this chicken place, right? It was not even Roscoe's Chicken. It was like in Hollywood, but they weren't selling chicken. If you looked at the amount of people going in there, and it was dead, this, that, and the third, it was ridiculous. It didn't have that many reviews. I don't know what it had. It had like it was open and stuff like that. And it was like a place that specialized in chicken nuggets and stuff like that. There wasn't nobody in there. And, the individuals, I was like, yeah, this right here is not one of those legitimate business. There's a lot of places like, nobody even goes there. Like, that's like someone having a laundromat business and they're doing money laundering, or have a gas station and they're money laundering money from drugs, this, that, and the third. They're going down. Conspiracy, money laundering, RICO, a racket. Now, basically what a racket is, you're basically doing an illegal thing. You have illegal businesses. You're cleaning up the money, but you're continuing doing that. Like, you're repeating the act. You're just cleaning up the money. That's what a racket is. So people got, it's like a brand of stuff you never even heard of. Like, let's say, someone got Big Money Coffee, they have a coffee shop. That's why I just said Big Money Coffee Shop, stuff like that. They're not selling coffee. It's just the operation of coffee probably sucks. Or this, that, and the third. People just doing this, that, and the third. They're not selling coffee. It's just an attempt to look legitimate. So, it is what it is. That's just my conclusion. It is what it is. And people talking about big money, this, that, and the third. If you got money and stuff like that, I don't know about you, but you ain't gonna know about it. Or, like for instance, keep it low profile. That's why I would never live in some place like in LA. LA, you have no privacy. Um, I wouldn't live in LA. I like some place where I live at now. You know, you don't really have people this, that, and the third. You can get a nice home. You can build a house. You know, I went to Beverly Hills on I was on an excursion. This person, like the guide or whatnot, was basically harassing rich people. And he went up to a famous person and asked, "Are you famous?" The guy, I'm pretty sure he was famous. I didn't know who he was. But, are you famous? We were on a hill or whatnot. And he basically went beside, he was going up well, not necessarily harassing people, just being annoying, just being corny. Hey, rich guy, and this, that, and the third. That was just stupid. Like there's people with businesses that actually go and basically be near people's actual homes and just ride past them. Some of them they got pictures of inside the house. They had pictures inside the house when it was publicly, open, like for like a sale or something like that, where people sold their homes. And the thing about Beverly Hills and the hills of Hollywood or whatnot, really all the way up in Los Angeles, overlooking stuff, you can look into people's homes. I don't really care to be looking at people's homes. I don't really care. And again, that's just me. Because everything, in my opinion, is about hype. But the thing is, those people really have money. Like, I'm talking about real money. Like, homes in Los Angeles are like, the homes I went past were like $40 million. 40, 30, 10 million. The lowest, like, you can have a home in that area, but it's not going to be as nice as, a $30 million home. People have legitimately like 3 swimming pools in the house. I went to the famous like Hollywood house or whatever it was called, where they shot like The Godfather or one of those Italian mob films. Went past it, and the inside and stuff like that. Somebody owns it. They don't know who it is. And that home is worth like $100 million. So there's real money out there. But again, that's not a place I would live at. Again, that is not a place I would even want to remotely live at, because there ain't no privacy out there. People's whole businesses and stuff is based off of going up the hills. And there was this crazy lady, I forgot her name. She has like she does like celebrity house, like she does a map of where people live at. I went by Sacha Baron Cohen. It was just what you call it. They do like a celebrity tour. I think it's called like Star Tours or something like that. That's the name of the company. I didn't really want to even go and do that, but I had to pass time, and that's what my group decided. We just went out there and did that. But man, it was ridiculous. But the thing about in the hills, like in the Beverly Hills area, there's houses, people are knocking down $10 million houses. They have enough money to just knock down a $10 million house. And they have another house behind it. I went by the Playboy house too. The guide and stuff like that excursion, they took me by the Playboy house. It's blocked off. They have like 3 different security details and stuff around it. You can kind of see it, but I wasn't really that impressed with that. Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hef. I don't know about certain stuff like Hugh Hefner. Now, I don't know who Hugh Hefner is. He's dead, but like, I'm just thinking about the more money that you have, I don't know. You might want to be cautious with the amount of women that you sleep with. That's just my personal opinion. There's that and the third. But, yeah. The homes up there, they have homes and stuff that are $100 million. They have this little witch house and stuff. I went past it. I didn't necessarily get a photo of it because it was like a witch house, so someone's actual house. And they actually lived there. It was like a home. A movie designer designed it. That and the third. And that's a witch house. So, I'm still thinking about a few things, like, the wait times in LA are pretty bad. The thing that makes Los Angeles popular is the tourists. It's just the tourists and just regular day people. Because without regular day people and people buying into the whatever thing it is, I don't think LA would survive. Like, in terms, they got box office, yes, they have all this stuff. But people, everyday people like you and me and stuff like that, in a sense, we're making these people money, and it's as simple as that. I'll give you a few food reviews, what I think is good and what is not. And I want to be honest with you. In-N-Out Burger is good. The fries are terrible. That's just my opinion. They taste like they came out of the freezer. God, I'm just trying to put a gun. And then I do, well, yeah, I do have a successful friend and stuff like that. I consider him to be my bigger brother in a sense. Give me advice about crypto. This, that, and the third, so shout out to him. Gave me advice and a few things to be on the lookout for in LA. And so far, I mean, there's advice that didn't stop there. His advice stuff really did work. Dumbass. Did all that and got clapped. Give me that. See, that's why I don't like playing these games like that. I be trying to play this game for y'all, honestly, truly speaking, and then provide insight and stuff like that. So, I'll give you my food review of a place to go, top place in LA to try. I would say number one, if you're looking for chicken, Harold's Chicken. Do not go to Roscoe's Chicken. Do not go to Roscoe's Chicken because the two people in my group and another person, yeah, I wanted to meet out in LA. They went there and it was trash. I say you go to Pollo Loco. That's one. That's a cheap bite to eat. I didn't get that, but I would recommend that. I would say Cabo Cantina. And the average thing is like $13. I mean, shell tacos. Those are probably the best. I'll probably say. But there's another place I didn't get to try. It's a food truck called Pineapple Express. Not the movie, but their stuff is really based off of pineapple. It got barbecue, pineapple, basically Hawaiian food, basically. It's like gourmet chef. It's pretty good. My Uber drive said that was pretty decent. When I first got out there, I think. Or, like, yeah, I think so. He said it was pretty decent. That was one of the ones you probably need to check out. Barbecue sauce, that pineapple. And the stuff is based out of pineapple. Like actual pineapple. The stuff looks really good. They're based out of a food truck. They're really, they basically took money out of their 401k. They started their own business. Their passion is food. They had a job, they didn't like it. They put the passion was cooking. And, a lot of people didn't believe in their product. A lot of people didn't believe in them and support their dreams. And, they're making it big out there. I'll go back to the street and I'll tell you a little bit more about places I would suggest people to try. And again, I feel like I know at least a little bit about places to eat. Roscoe's is not one of them. Oh my God, that got me killed. There's another place we need to look out for that's not good. Soul Food Shack. That's the place I on TikTok. That place is not good. But my official rating for food is looking for fried chicken. Harold's Fried Chicken in Hollywood. I think it's like North Hollywood. You have what's another place? I didn't really necessarily try a lot of food in a sense because most of the time I was pretty much in my room, and sometimes I got food delivered. I'm trying to think about all the places. I mainly took photos and stuff for what I ate for that week. I had this pizza spot. The pizza spot was, there was a lot. Once again, there was some foolishness going on in that place. I don't think I'll be back there. I won't be going to Los Angeles for a while. The trip wasn't bad, but A lot of stuff going on. I don't want to bash people's businesses and stuff like that. But they will basically talk about they're the oldest, Italian restaurant, this, that, and the third. There's a lot of places or pizzeria. Stay away from those type of places. In-N-Out, I went In-N-Out 2 times. I mean, In-N-Out, the burger is good. In-N-Out is like the cookout version of, I would say, it's the cookout version of, it's basically just a cookout version in the West Coast. It's open to 1 o'clock. It's like for the club people. I done seen people in some very crazy outfits come in the store with makeup, this, that, and the third, and outfits. Oh my God, just ridiculous. It is what it is. And then the Uber drivers, bro, or this, that, and the third, they were terrible. Renting a car is probably going to, I would say it just depends. If you're comfortable, but I would say even the most experienced of driver, yeah. Even the most experienced of driver in a particular place, you're not going to necessarily be good in a sense. I don't think, because there'll be a lot of accidents. And, another thing is with certain stuff, I just want to know why, in a sense, you got these companies and these people deifying these, movie stars, celebrities, and then on this tour too, they basically, you can search up people trying to break in or get a peep into Michael Jackson's home. I saw that firsthand personally. We rode past it. I wasn't even really trying to even go on this tour at all, but that was kind of like a group decision, we're going to just go and do this. Okay. The space on that thing is so small. I am a pretty small person, I would think, in my opinion, compared to some of the people that are on the bus. No offense. But there's not that much seats on that thing, for one. And then the suspension and stuff like that on the car is terrible. And then with a couple of them turns, yeah, I think I know if a car and stuff or a thing is squeaky or, you hear it, this, that, and the third, the suspension, yeah, or something's wrong or power steering is gone, you can kiss your tail goodbye. And think about being in the Hollywood Hills and stuff like that, Calabasas. I briefly went there for this excursion that I did. I think it was $130 and stuff, something like that. Yeah. It's 2 hours, this, that, and the third. Again, it was one of those things where I would put it at, if that's something you want to do, it is what it is. But back to the lady out there in LA, she basically was obsessed with Michael Jackson. She's been out there for 30 years. Her dad did celebrity maps. She said that Sean Connery used to live in the house that Michael Jackson bought before he died. And Michael Jackson lived there for 20 years, this, that, and the third. I'm talking about Michael bought some of the maps. I don't really think that Michael bought any of the maps. That's just my opinion. Just because you're a you're a super fan. And then the lady's gotten sued because she's out there. She basically stopped our bus in the middle of our excursion and stuff like that, to talk about, are you guys interested in buying a match? Have you seen my my posters and signs, lady? It's written in colored crayon. Stop. But the lady's been sued. I think her name is Welton. Her last name is Welton. I don't know what her first name is. My sister found it. She's been on CNN and stuff like that. That lady's a little bit cuckoo. That's what the guy said, but he shouldn't have said that as close as he was. He was trying to have a conversation with, And then the craziest thing I think with that excursion guy, what he did, he went. Then like they had this person. It's called Hood Life Tours. We went in like downtown LA. He was trying to be friendly and poke, joke, jabs. Like, how you doing, man? Just Hood Life Tour. And the guy was like a real gang member, or at least former gang member. He didn't want to say nothing to this man. He was annoyed. I was like, yeah, sir, you don't know how to read the room. See, that's with me. Respect is where respect is at. You don't have to be a part of that life for, people to get respect and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm not about to be set up here and trying to poke. Some of these people, they're no joke. That's, again, this is not one of those things that, you want to be around these people. People live a different walk, I try to set them straight and narrow. Again, that's just my truth. I do my best in every way possible. I try. And what it's worth, I think I'm doing pretty good. If I could find my phone and see exactly what my crypto is doing, Bitcoin is down like $30,000. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Bitcoin is down like $30,000. What about Bitcoin? Was it down? 30,654. Okay. If Cardano goes down, I got a little bit of Cardano. Cardano at its high was like $2 or something change. So I can make some money. I haven't learned about Cardano, but I'm focused on all the other coins in a sense. I have a decent amount of Shiba. I have bagged today coins, I have bagged tomorrow coins, and I have bagged like maybe 2-year coins. That's kind of what I have. I have realistic stuff coins. I think the Dogecoin stuff hype is done. Most cryptocurrency, and again, and how LA and stuff works, everything's off hype. You cannot tell me that that's not how a lot of stuff works. If people just stop believing in stuff like that, Hollywood is Hollywood. Why is it like that? It's because people idealize and basically deify celebrities, and you have businesses only to basically deify and cater to, these celebrities. Like, people are some serious fans. I was still thinking about that lady who was talking about the maps, selling them 2 maps and trying to get people to buy that colored crayon. Do you see my signs?
So that's her business. That's what she does to make money.
And she's been out there 30 years.
Maps for 20. They used to be like 5 back in the day. Now she's selling for like 20 a piece.
That's weird. To have your whole life and whole existence is basically, and people pay for privacy. I mean,
it is what it is, friend. I think a lot of people are fascinated by the lives of the rich and famous. So like, the maps that she's selling is like maps of where like.
See, my life purpose is not let people know what I got going on. You feel me? Live a quiet, normal life.
That's part of the tourism in Los Angeles. Like, that's the part of the tourism industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Hollywood is the way it is because of tourists and people buying into it.
Like, if people didn't care about
that, that wouldn't exist.
Right, if people didn't care about what celebrities did, there wouldn't be bus tours that can charge you $40 a person to sit down and ride around. And like, if you look over there 8 miles away, you can see Jennifer Aniston's house. Like,
yeah.
That's the house from Iron Man. But that was cool, though.
That was sort of cool, but I'm still thinking about it. Had I known that space back there, I would definitely not suggest that shit. And what them people did, and what them people did was fucking stupid. Again.
Well, basically, if you take a bus tour, you gotta get there early. Like, you have to get there.
Or people did strong arm, and even getting off the plane, people strong arm. People weren't even in the right stuff. That's why I don't like the coordination with that plane, and you said that people would shut the fuck up talking on the plane.
Like, bro, this is a late night flight. It's literally.
And we didn't get really. We did get there on time, but the amount of time. You see, I got LeBron. LeBron had a Fortnite skin I said I was gonna get. I got it. But they were doing a whole lot of advertising for Space Jam in LA. They were the word. I think that was cool. But definitely, there's some interesting characters.
The Iron Man house can't even. It's not even the house.
You said it's not. Where's that?
Like, well, the house. It basically that man was packing.
I'm still thinking about why that man, what you call, would you like to see some skin, kids? He seemed like he wished he could talk. I said the energy of charisma. I'm still thinking about that steakhouse. Something I took, what you call it? I took someone to the Boa Steakhouse. That's all the celebrities go to. I don't think I'm getting another one of them. I saw some nice cars out in what you call LA, Philly, Ghosts. But I think the biggest point is what you call it. Definitely saving your money. But even in LA, the sales tax, I wouldn't consider. Everything in LA is overpriced. And it relies off hype. Like again, if people didn't care, LA wouldn't be a popular spot. It won't the birthplace. Huh? I mean, yeah, it's not hard to believe.
Yeah, because you don't see nobody walking outside.
They really can. I saw Britney Spears, her boyfriend. I think she should have a baby with her boyfriend. Free Britney! That was a too animated, for my opinion. Hey, North Carolina. And then what you call it? Then people say about, hey, rich black people. Sir, you're out of pocket. What about me is rich? The houses in LA, again, it's about hype. The houses and stuff are nice, but if you think about the square footage, again, it's about location. If people were not necessarily The houses are nice, don't get me wrong, but if we're in the area, if it was in like a house, my size house, I think it's pretty decent. Let's say about like a 3,000 square foot home. And I live in a nice area, a nice community. I live on the golf course. But, yeah, at a place in LA, it would probably like $6 million because of the place, location, this, that, and the third. You're going to expect to spend $6 million, and even the apartments, like a little small studio apartment, like $4,000 a month. So I can see why homelessness and stuff is an issue in LA. You can have enough money to like basically accommodate and stuff for you, like $4,000 a month. $4,000, like if you're doing a little bus boy at a restaurant, this, that, and the third. I mean, you're probably not making that much money, to be completely honest. So tips, I definitely feel like tipping people is a great component of it. I feel like you should do it. And the service is bad, take that up with the management. And what the management does there and stuff dictates whether or not I go back. And that's just my honest opinion. Because, like, I'm still thinking about what you call it. Oh my God. I'm still thinking about this place that people hyping up at, well, I'm home now. I ain't gonna say the name of the restaurant, but it's a place for a seafood boil, and their service was bad. Like, they set us down. It was like happened like 2.5 weeks ago, I think, or close to it. They had just set us down. They didn't do anything. Their waiters, they had parties and stuff like that. Like, people actually sitting. They were taking people's drink and orders and stuff like that, but we were just sitting there like, it made them look bad. We wound up walking out of there, man. I don't feel bad for that. I mean, your service and stuff is bad, and your prices and stuff, like $80 or something like that for a seafood boil. And I was still thinking about a place my sister ate at too. It was just one of those places catered to seafood boil. The stuff in there was nasty. And I don't think it was necessarily that expensive, but I think my sister would have rather not even gone there. And being completely honest, they had jumbo shrimp and stuff like that, and they weren't deveined. They was all gushy. They had black stuff, probably crap. That's why I don't eat shrimp like that. Well, surprisingly, I did eat shrimp, but the shrimp and stuff the shrimp at this place didn't have its head cut off. You only pay a few extra cents for that or whatnot.
A lot of seafood places where they offer head off shrimp.
Yeah.
They charge more for the head off because I guess in theory it's more work for them to do to cut the head off, so you have to pay more for head off.
But that shrimp, I saw that. Look at that. That was nasty. You said I wish I didn't even go there. Hot and juicy crawfish. That place, I wasn't impressed. Hot and juicy crawfish. Hollywood, California. Trash! That's exactly what that was. I didn't even eat that. I just got me something to drink. I called it a day. Had me some Indian food. Bombay Frankie. I feel like it's a decent spot, but I feel like my home place is better. I think the South definitely has a better. Again, that's just my opinion. The South has a better hospitality rule than pretty much the North, and they pride themselves on hospitality than the West Coast. And again, that's just my opinion. But I'm telling you what I didn't observe. I'm gonna try to watch Space Jam a little bit of it, so. It is what it is. Or that 3 kills one for that. It is what it is. Yup. She got a dome. 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 Shake some with it. Shake some with it. Shake some. Get it. She got a dome. So what she dropping roll? Yeah, it's going down. Got 5,000 ones. Me, you, and you. We about to have fun. Go and make it clap. Clap right there. I like her, and her. Jail, I got close. I feel it. But I definitely feel like a lot of businesses in Hollywood are basically deifying these people are people at that. I mean, yes, they do have a lot of money, this, that, and the third, but I mean, it is people. They want privacy. But I mean, if you're a celebrity or whatnot, I'm not saying it's right people sit up here because it's not. But yeah, man, you kind of give up your right to privacy in a sense. And LA is just the birthplace. People, they're going to track you. They'll pay people money every day. You and meet people to go and find out where these celebrities at. They'll pay you money for a photo. Hell, if you get a half decent photo, they'll pay you money. But I think that in a sense, that comes to the territory. And then again, you just gotta kind of be mindful, you know. Or that's why a lot of celebrities and stuff, they don't do shopping in public. I mean, some of them do, some of them don't. They have people go shop for them, this and the third, which is understandable. I'm going in right now, but yeah. I think Dogecoin's run is over. But I know somebody person that made a lot of money off Dogecoin. They gave me advice. I made a decent amount of money with Dogecoin. But I wish I would have sold it at 75 cents. This is my personal opinion. If I know now what I know then, I would have definitely sold. But I feel like the new one that's out, and I got it for advice, it was a thing called VeChain. So if you get load up on some VeChain, do what you do, save your money, invest a little bit of it. I feel like a good stopping point, I would say $40 can get you about $600, because that's basically what I had in Dogecoin when it was like 75 cents, and I had like, what, 710. I sold 100 Dogecoin. That was stupid, but I got like $10 out of it. I sold that for Outriders to have a little bit extra cash. That was dumb on my behalf. That lost me like, what, at least another 100, thinking about it now. But, you know, it is, you live and you learn. You can't really predict what these cryptos and stuff are going to do. You just have to make your best, do a lot of research, for one. Look at some of this other stuff like VeChain actually has use cases because they deal with supply chain management, and then Walmart and other companies have used what they're like logistics, not necessarily the cryptocurrency, but their logistics and the stuff, because it's based out of Singapore. And Singapore is like the global hub of basically imports and exports, but also they're like the financial hub or basically infrastructure hub for Asia. They also have banned gum. Like, you can't get gum. They only allowed it recently here, within probably like the last, like, what, 13 years or so. I had to basically research that for my international business class. But they're strong at import and export. That's why they're kind of like, they have a nice airport for one. They're definitely a financial sector of Asia, one of the better ones, because Cambodia, Laos, Burma, Myanmar, rather, those are countries that are basically not, they don't have necessarily resources. The resources that they have are like, you know, foods, fruits, you know, jackfruit, not necessarily jackfruit, but like the kiwi, all this type of other stuff. That's kind of their main stuff like that. Tourism, like Indonesia and stuff like that. Indonesia is a very poor place. It's just because of what they got going on. Yeah, Indonesia and stuff like that, you know, the politicians. Indonesia is a primarily Muslim country, nothing against Muslim people, nothing like that. But that also affects, like, you know, the amount of products and stuff that can come in. And it has nothing to do with alcohol and pork, this, that, and the third, but it affects, like, the structure of what they will allow to come in the country. Like, media, like China, you can't get, like, you won't see certain films, they'll splice out, they have a modified scenes and stuff like that. So they have like a religious board in terms of what they can show and what they can't show, and they'll splice that out of a film. Like Saudi Arabia, they didn't have, well, Saudi Arabia, they basically have this thing where, yeah, I think in Black Panther, one of the films, they basically cut out a scene and stuff like that because, you know, a religious advisory board. I'm not laughing at God messed up pronouncing it and saying it. I'm just going with the flow. But, yeah, they have an advisory board. They won't. And really, movie theaters are not even that popular in Saudi Arabia. So really, what you're really seeing is, I think AMC was like the first movie theater to try to go ahead and expand out there, but there was a cost with that. I know we was talking about how women got, you know, recently got the ability to drive. So, we're going to talk about the geopolitics of the area, how like Arab Spring and stuff like that. We're not really focused on the religious component of it, but we're just focused on the Arab Spring as kind of fueled some changes and, you know, just the advisories and stuff that happened, was going on, and what companies and or people were trying to expand in that region and that reach in the grand scheme of things, how that basically affects, you know, what you can get in a certain component. Like, let's say Most of the oil and stuff it comes from Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Those are rich countries, even Kuwait, Dubai, places like that. Qatar is another one. Um, Middle East is basically we definitely need the Middle East for we need to have good relations and stuff like that. We can all benefit from each other, despite religious differences. This and the third, we keep it respectful. That's the way I look at it. But yeah, the thing about LA too, you see a whole lot of people. A lot of people are not even from LA. You see a lot of tourists. I was a tourist. I'm back home. But yeah, you can't go to LA with you're gonna have to come with LA with a few grand. Even for like a 4-day trip, you gonna run it up. You will most definitely run it up. Hell, you start even on there, breathing costs money. Because the moment you land at the airport or whatnot, you consider even anything. Walking down the street, you have women in cat women outfits and stuff trying to beg you to take a picture with them, this, that, and the third. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And we had this person be a Michael Jordan out there and throwing something on that woman's head. I don't know if this woman was drunk or that was her boo, this, that, and the third. There was way too much going on, so he hit her on top of the head with a not basketball, and that basically caused a few issues. That caused a few issues. And the ball went out to the street. He was dribbling pretty nice. I'm not going to lie about that. But when he started, dribbling and stuff, doing all these little flashy moves and that stuff, the ball went out in the street. I'm like, yeah, cut the crap. The show's about over, bro. That's not me hating. I'm just like, that's kind of stupid. You're close to the street, doing all these dribble moves, this, that, and the third. I mean, it's not necessarily smart to be doing that. But yeah, in LA, you will most definitely run it up. As soon as you get to the airport, you're looked at like you're green. Basically, when you get out into the city, you're looked at like you're green. People could care less. And I'm still thinking about, buying a homeless person something to eat. Yeah, you'll run it up there too. Yeah, I don't think you can really afford to do that. Over here, yeah, you can buy some homeless person food and it won't hurt at all. It won't hurt the bank. That's the one thing I will say about North Carolina. North Carolina is at least fair in terms. You can find a reasonable apartment here for like what $800 a month. In LA, you can probably get like what I'll probably say you get an 800 square foot room, and just because of location, you probably paying like what three. You're paying a lot of money. You're paying like $3,000 or $4,000 for 800 square foot room. And that's not scamming, I don't know what it is, but then again, you gotta think about the place. LA is about money. It's hype too. To say that you live in LA, yeah, you gotta be getting it. But I looked at the average salary in LA, it's like $28,000, 28,800. That's poverty. To me, that's below poverty, in fact. Because poverty, by definition of at least the U.S. labor stuff, is like what, $20,000 a month, and it's basically per person. If you are a single person, at least in North Carolina, that's livable. So yeah, the more kids and stuff you have and stuff like that, and with the law being the way it is, people are getting the stimulus benefit for the more kids they have. I'm not necessarily against that. And it makes sense, but again, it's one of those things. LA is not a place to live, in my opinion. It is for, if you're like in the movies and films, but you already have to have those connections. And in my opinion, I don't necessarily believe that your network determines your net worth. I really don't believe in that. That's just my opinion. But if you have, like for instance, if people are already in a family that's already, like they come from line movie stars, I mean, that's their network. Somebody like over here, like, you live in New York City, you can probably make it big. But I think, in my opinion, the worst places to live at, in my opinion, in terms of, you really have to be getting it out there, San Francisco, Los Angeles. San Francisco is number one. Los Angeles, New York City, hell, let's think about another one, and Chicago. I think those, I'll probably say, I'll still go with Chicago, but even before Chicago, I'm going to say Miami. Miami is definitely one up there too. It's about hype. But if you guys enjoyed the stream, I ran it up and ran at least my rundown on a few things and at least my perspective on it. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, I'm out.